All right. Hello, future applicants. My name is Donald. I'm one of the fourth years here at UIC. I'm here with our esteemed program director, Dr. Alfonso Mejia. Be asking him a few questions so you can get to know a little more about our program. A little bit about Dr. Mejia. He graduated from University of Michigan, then he attended UIC for medical school, and he came back for residency. He then went to University of Louisville to attend the Christine Kleiner Hand Fellowship. He worked in private practice for a few years, and then he came back full-time to be our program director in March of 2007, so he's been our program director for almost 14 years. In between the time, he did work at Cook County, which he did have time with residents, and he's always been involved here at UIC. He's a big part of what makes this program run. Fun fact about Dr. Mejia, he's been a member of SWAT for almost 20 years, so he's always got your back. Dr. Mejia, any words that you'd like to add?
No, I thought that was a good introduction, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, so here's some questions that we thought you guys might want to know the answers to. Dr. Mejia, what do you think is the best part about working with residents in our program?
Well, I think that working with residents keeps things fresh. There's a lot of things that are very repetitive in orthopedics that we're all excited about the new procedure, but the fight bite or the plus hand in the middle of the night, that's somewhat drudgery if I'm doing it by myself. But if I'm taking a junior resident through it and explaining how to take care of it and teaching about it, becomes interesting and exciting again. Also, the residents here get along really well with the attendings. I think it's a very collegial atmosphere, so it's fun to work with you guys. I look forward to working with both of you in the clinic.
Yeah, our awesome videographer is none other than Ali D'Agostini, one of our chief residents. So you actually kind of answered one of my next questions. Is what's your favorite surgery to teach or walk a resident through?
That's a difficult question because it's going to vary by individual. So certainly with a junior, it's nice to start with something simple, like a carpal tunnel or trigger finger, because a lot of times what you're really focusing on is just the mechanics of how to hold a knife, how to use a knife. If we're doing something more complex, like you and I have been doing some ligament reconstructions, it's interesting to see as you can do more and more to let the resident do more and more.
Yeah, so I've been personally lucky. I've been working with Dr. Mejia in the lab, and we've been doing some pretty cool research and working on new procedures for scapholunate injuries. But me personally, I love doing distal radiuses with Dr. Mejia, and it's gotten to the point that I know a lot of details of the way he does it, and then when I do it with another attending, it gets very difficult for me because I want to do certain things, I want to release all the way down, but you got to do it the boss's way. So Dr. Mejia, what drove you to hand surgery?
Oh, that's an interesting question. So I'm old enough that when I graduated, most people didn't do a fellowship. So if you look at the generation before me, a lot of them just went straight into practice. And when I graduated, only about half the people did fellowships. So and because of that, there wasn't so much subspecialization. Our chairman, Dr. Gonzalez, and I both were at County. He as an attending, me as a resident. And because he had done a hand fellowship, he was more comfortable about neurovascular structures. So he actually was doing the more difficult fractures. Even though he wasn't a trauma guy, he was doing the pelvic fractures. He was doing the pylon fractures. He was doing the fractures where we had to work around vital structures that you need to protect. And I wanted that skill. So I went into hand surgery to enhance my surgical skills, not necessarily because I wanted to do hand. And then, as you said, I was in private practice for a while. I was in private practice, I was more of a generalist. I did primarily hand, but it was probably like 50-60%. I was also doing general orthopedics, fracture, joints. And it was over time where my practice went more and more into hand, and where now it's basically exclusively hand. But it didn't start out that way.
And last serious question, Dr. Mejia, what do you think are the biggest strengths of our program and the characteristics of the residents that we have that graduate from this program?
As far as the biggest strengths of the program, the thing I'm most proud of this program is that we give you a good base to go into whatever you want. If you look at our graduates, they go into all the subspecialty fields, from foot and ankle to spine to peds, oncology, trauma, what have you. And I think that shows that we're creating a base for you to go into what you want, rather than having a program that's heavy in one direction and you're just doing what we want. I don't want to necessarily make you into hand surgeon. I know you want to do hands, so maybe I do want to make you into hand surgeon.
Just me.
But I don't want to force someone else who doesn't have that interest into it. I want to see them blossom in whatever they are interested in. And I think that the other thing is that with our residents, you see them as a mix going into private practice and academics. So again, it's giving them the foundation to go where they want to go in the type of practice they want to go into.
All right, so some more fun questions. Dr. Mejia, what's your favorite clinic lunch order? I know it's not nasty Thai.
So we during clinic, we always get lunch. And I have to say, I probably like the Sunnyside beef from Banh Mi.
Okay, that's a solid choice. The Sunnyside beef is a must-have. I feel like everyone loves that.
It's a curious choice because the Union has the same company, and I find that the one at the Union is not as good as the one from delivery.
Interesting. I actually haven't tried the two and thought I gotta try that out in the future. All right. So what's the best pizza in Chicago?
There's a lot of pizza options, and it depends on what the mood strikes me. So I tend to like a sort of a greasier, old style pizza. At home, my wife tends to like something that has so many vegetables that it's really a salad on toast. So it depends. I mean, for just a very greasy pizza that you should not be proud of eating, I think Bocce pizza. It's a huge pizza.
Yeah, those slices are like this big.
Yeah. If you want something unusual, Pequod's is unusual because they have a cheese crust on top of the regular crust.
I would say that's my favorite deep dish.
Recently voted #2 in the United States, by the way.
Pequod's?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, but Pequod's you really have to eat there. The takeout, it sort of loses something. And then if we're a deep dish, well, no, there's another thin crust place if you want something that's not just the greasy thing like Bocce's, is Aurelio's Pizza, but it has to be one in the suburbs. The one downtown is not very good. And for a deep dish, I like Giordano's.
Okay, I like that. He was pretty comprehensive with all types of pizza, and I think for our program, our attendings are really personable, and a lot of them are really funny. So I just wanted to know from you, who do you think is the funniest attending? You can't include yourself in the ranking.
Well, that's sort of a difficult question. I think that as far as clever humor, I think Dr. Malhotra actually sometimes comes up with a sort of subtle joke that's clever. As far as an unusual perspective that is humorous, I would have to go with Dr. Abraham.
Okay, there you have it. So hopefully you get to learn a little more about our program. Thank you, Dr. Mejia.
Thank you.
Thank you.